Logothete was an administrative title originating in the Eastern Roman Empire. In the Middle and late Byzantine Empire, it rose to become a senior administrative title, equivalent to a minister or secretary of state. The title spread to other states influenced by Byzantine culture, such as Bulgaria, Sicily, Serbia, and the Danubian Principalities. Byzantine Empire. Origin and development. In Greek, Logothetes means one who accounts, calculates, ratiocinates, literally one who sets the word. The exact origin of the title is unclear. It is found in papyri and works of the Church Fathers denoting a variety of junior officials, mostly charged with fiscal duties. The ancestors of the Middle Byzantine Logothetes were the fiscal officials known as rationales during late antiquity. The office dates back to at least the time of Emperor Septimius Severus, where a procurator rationibus is attested. In late Roman times, the rationales were officials attached to the praetorian prefectures and charged with supervising the state treasury and the emperor's private domains. The first notable official titled as a Logothete was Marinus, the future praetorian prefect and chief minister of Emperor Anastasius I. In the 6th century, under Emperor Justinian I, the Logothetes gained in prominence and power, as they were placed in charge of the emperor's revenue-gathering measures and dispatched as fiscal agents to the provinces or accompanied military expeditions. They were allowed to keep a twelfth of the sums they would gather for the treasury, and some, such as the notorious Alexander Sizes, amassed considerable fortunes in this way. The major transformation of the office came in the early 7th century. During the Heraclean dynasty, the administrative machinery of the state, inherited from the time of Diocletian and Constantine the Great, was thoroughly reformed. Thus the three chief financial departments of the old system, the praetorian prefecture, the sacred largesses and the private domains, were replaced by smaller specialized departments titled Logothesia secreta. This process was the result of severe territorial loss and the need to rationalize revenue collection during the final Byzantine-Persian War and the Muslim conquests, but had already been presaged by Emperor Justinian's reforms in the 6th century, when the res praevita, responsible for the managing of imperial estates, had been divided by kind into 5 separate departments. By the mid-7th century, the sacrae largitians too disappeared altogether, while its various sections, as those of the praetorian prefecture, were separated and set up as autonomous departments, some of them headed by a Logothete. These were under the supervision of the sacellarios, who functioned as a general controller of finances, and ultimately of the emperor himself. The first mention of a Logothete in a senior position was the most glorious Logothete and patrician Theodosios in 626, possibly either in charge of the Genicon of the Stratioticon, although the first concrete evidence for the existence of many of the subsequent offices is often of a much later date. The chief departments, the Genicon, the Edikon, the Stratioticon and the Dromos, were in place by the late 7th century. There were also Logothetes in the church, assisting the Patriarch and the Metropolitan bishops, while a Logothetes II Praetorio was a senior official under the Eparch of Constantinople. Under Emperor Alexios I Komnenos, the Logothete of the Bureau was instituted, who supervised all state departments, evolving eventually into the Grand Logothete of the late Byzantine Empire. By the Paleologan period, the various Logothetes had vanished or were converted into purely honorary honorary titles. Logothetes. The Logothetes to Dromu, in English usually rendered as Logothete of the course Drome, Dromos, a postal Logothete, responsible for the imperial post, diplomacy and intelligence. In the 10th–11th centuries, its holder often functioned as the Byzantine Empire's chief minister. The Logothetes to Genikos, often called Genikos Logothetes, are simply Ho Genikos, and usually rendered in English as the General Logothete. He was in charge of the general financial ministry, the Genikan Logothesian, responsible for general taxation and revenue. The Logothetes to Stratiotikos, the Logothete of the military, was in charge of the pay and provisioning of the Byzantine army, although his exact duties are somewhat obscure. The Logothetes to Agelon, in English the Logothete of the herds, was responsible for the state-run estates in Western Asia Minor that reared horses and mules for the army and the imperial public post. The Epi to Edikos are simply the Edikos, responsible for the Edikon Logothesian, which supervised the imperial treasury, factories, storehouses, and monopolies. According to some, an evolution of the Roman comes rerum privatarum. The Logothetes to Praetorio, a Logothete of the Praetorium, one of the two principal aides of the Eparch of Constantinople, probably charged with judicial and policing duties. The Logothetes to Hydatin, the Logothete of the waters, an obscure official who is mentioned only once, possibly to be identified with the Combs Hydatin, an official in charge of the aqueducts. The Logothetes to Oikieikon, in charge of the Oikieikoi class of palace officials, and carrying out a variety of fiscal and judicial duties, ostensibly rendered as Logothete of the household. The Megas Logothetes, a Grand Logothete, originally established as the Logothetes to Secretan by Emperor Alexios I Komnenos to supervise and coordinate the other government departments. Logothetes outside Byzantium, Serbia. The title Logothete was used in Serbia in the Middle Ages since the rule of King Stefan Milutin. Notable title holders include Rajko, Jonikia, Pribak, Goko, Vojna, Pahomia and Stefan Ratkovic. Sicily. For the Eastern Roman Empire, the title was borrowed by the West, where Holy Roman Emperor Otto III bestowed it on his chancellor, Leo of Vercelli. In the end, it only became firmly established in Sicily, where the Logothete occupied the position of chancellor elsewhere, his office being equal if not superior to that of the Magnus Cancellarius. Thus, the title was borne for example by Pietro della Vigna, the all-powerful minister of Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II, King of Sicily. Romanian Principalities. The title was also borrowed in the internal organization of the medieval Romanian countries Moldavia and Wallachia. In Moldavia, the Great Logothete was the chief minister of the prince and head of the chancellery, while in Wallachia, he was the second most senior member of the prince's council, after the ban. Several other officials were also called Logothetes. Second Logothete, deputy of the Great Logothete. Third Logothete, secretary of the Great Logothete. Logothete of the treasury. Logothete of the chamber. Logothete of the ceremonies. Logothete of the secrets. A royal Logothete, private secretary of the prince.